Hey, like, share, and subscribe. So the only AEW member that's in an actual long-term storyline, Adam Page, finally got some storyline development because on the Thursday episode of AEW Dynamite, Adam Page was kicked out of the Elite by the Young Bucks. And it was actually an interesting angle. All right, so let's talk about this. So for the last several months of the most of the run of AEW has featured Adam Page sort of slowly but surely separating himself from the Elite, and then over the last couple of months, since maybe July, he's sort of been aligning himself with FTR, the new guys who are, they're sort of all in the same boat. They're all kind of neo old school. Adam Page is sort of a throwback to the 80s. With the exception of his flipping lariat over the top rope, he is almost something out of the territories. He's very, he's a cowboy character. Who knows how many different fucking cowboys there were in the 80s? I mean, if I would just go off of the top of my head, I mean, there's probably like six. You had Wild Bill Irwin, you had Dutch Mantell, you had uh, Bill Watts, you had Dusty was basically a cowboy, and basically so was Dick Murdoch, and then you just had a bunch of fucking cowboys. It was just Bob Orton was a cowboy. It was just cowboys everywhere. It's just like hella cowboys everywhere. Now a lot of people have just basically said that, oh well, Hangman Page is just a ripoff of James Storm. And I say like ultimately it's just a cowboy stereotype. I mean, it's there's archetypes, right? Where there's certain like Indians are a certain way, magicians are a certain way, cowboys are a certain way, police officers are a certain way, etc., etc. Cowboys are just kind of like that. I wouldn't call it a ripoff of James Storm as much as it is just a cowboy, So, uh, but Adam Page is somebody that I never saw a lot of. Like I watched ROH, I don't remember seeing a lot of him. So I really didn't have a strong opinion as far as strongly liking him or strongly disliking him. He just kind of came across as Kenny Omega's sidekick for all this time, even though he was doing something completely different. He wasn't coming across as somebody who really kind of mattered, if we're being real. Even though he was in the championship match, the AEW championship match, he was the first AEW, or I guess you could say AEW original to main event a pay-per-view. But he still didn't feel as important as everybody else was even though he was in the matches, sure, he didn't feel emphasized. And for a long time they would do these little things, and he was again separating himself from the Elite. But to be quite honest, that's actually might be like the one sticking point with this storyline, is he has been separated from them for so long that for somebody like me, he was never really a part of the Elite. So like maybe for people who have been watching them all these years, is like, oh my goodness, they're kicking Adam Page out of the Elite. And I'm like, well, he kind of started distancing himself like right after the first pay-per-view, kind of, which was like 9 months ago. It's like he never really was part of the Elite. Now, it would have been one thing if he was like there all the time and they're always high-fiving and teaming together and he's always hanging out with them, smiling and all that type of stuff. That would have been completely different. And that also would have made his turn, which I guess you can call it a turn, would have made it a lot more interesting. So the turn was actually quite interesting because I guess you can you don't even have to call it a turn because there is some nuance there. I like that, but we'll get to there in a moment. But because Adam Page has been so separated from the rest of the Elite, he didn't come across as being one of the guys. And I get that you have to watch Being the Elite. You have to watch all the shit they do on YouTube. I'm not watching that shit. No. Tell me the story on the screen, on the show that you want me to watch, that you're getting paid to produce. Tell me that show. Tell me on that show. Show me on that show that these guys are close as brothers and all this type of stuff, instead of just, show, don't tell, right? When they've been showing me is Adam Page has been disgruntled with the Elite for a long, long time. and he has not really wanted to deal with them. You know, he's not wanted to. He just kind of wanted to be by himself and drink beer. Like I said about at the Stadium Stampede, he didn't feel like I guess he didn't feel like a regular member of the elite. But let's. I'm getting ahead of myself again. Let's back up. The Stadium Stampede. He left all of them to fight. He went to the bar. You know, so that's a storyline element. Like that's something to say. Like you come to a fight to fight with your friends, and you basically just say, "Fuck them, I'm leaving. I'm about to go get a drink." Very heelish thing to do. Of course, it wasn't treated as a heelish thing. It was treated as something cool. Like it's cool to abandon your friends and leave them to fight. Like that doesn't make any sense. And it just goes to show that a lot of people who are kind of watching AEW, don't understand friendship. They don't understand like you come to throw hands with your buddies. If I turn around and you're not there, we're not buddies, right? That's just common fucking sense. If I'm throwing hands and you're supposed to be throwing hands at my side, it's one thing for you not to be there and say, "Look, man, I can't fuck with that. You know, I catch you on the flip side if you survive." That's one thing. If you're going, I got your back and I'm gonna show up, and then you dip off to do your own thing just to go, you know, watch the game and drink beer or whatever the fuck he was doing in that bar. It's like, nah, man, that's not cool. So it's been a long time coming as far as uh, him finally snapping and or being snapped from the elite officially. But for somebody like me, it's already been, you know, gone. And I didn't really see the connection between them anyway. It's like, so I was like, it didn't hit me that hard. So what took place? Well, what took place is the gauntlet, the tag team gauntlet. The winners were going to wrestle Omega and Page for the tag team championship. The Young Bucks defeated whatever team went, Natural Nightmares, which is QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes, beat them. And then they were about to beat the Best Friends, or they were going to beat the Best Friends. And Adam Page out of nowhere kind of held, I don't know which buck it is. One of the Young Bucks held his leg so he couldn't get in the ring. The other Young Buck got rolled up and pinned. So the Young Bucks lost because of Adam Page. So they did a great shot of Adam Page looking really guilty. He got busted cheating his friends out of this match. So that made sense. Like when we looking at it, it was like a really good shot of him looking like he couldn't look his friends in the eye. He was looking away, and he was like, "Shit, busted. I didn't want to do this." So, like an hour goes by before they develop this story anymore, which was actually a good idea because it kept me interested. Because I wanted to know, one, why did he do that? Two, where are they going with this? So they did a good job of hooking me, and I'm a fuck AEW kind of guy. So I was hooked. I was like, okay, I want to see where this goes. So they go, and Adam Page is in the bar as usual with his alcohol, and he's still kind of dour and depressed and kind of like, shit, I can't believe it. The Young Bucks come in, cut the most horrible promo. Between the two of them, it was jumbled. They were speaking in crosswords. It was nonsense. It lacked intensity. It made no fucking sense. It was, "You're just scared, man. We've been dealing with this for a long time. Yeah. You're just a drunk, Adam." And they threw alcohol in his face. After he awkwardly held the shot glass, like he had never held a shot glass before in his life, he tossed the liquor in his face. And Adam Page snapped, threw the glass against the window, broke it, and that's where you get this beautiful picture that made me do this video right here. Okay, so the Young Bucks have the authority to boot people out of the elite, even though the elite is a 4-person team. So without Kenny Omega is sort of sliding into heeldom, and now sort of Hangman Page is also kind of going into heeldom. But Hangman Page has sort of been aligning himself with FTR, who are sort of the man's man. Again, neo, old school. They're cool guys, and Tully Blanchard is sort of a cool guy. And they kind of fit more with Hangman Page than the elite did. And it's a cool story of, basically outgrowing your friends or separating from your friends, and now you have these new friends. And so this is where the story of why Hangman Page screwed the Young Bucks comes up. Because it's like, okay, the FTR were the next opponents after uh, the best friends, right? FTR was the last team in the gauntlet. Did Hangman Page screw the Young Bucks so that FTR could beat the best friends and get the number one contendership because they're his friends now? Okay, that's possible. That's one angle. Is it the angle that the Young Bucks think it is, which is we pushed you, the Kenny Omega and Adam Page versus Young Bucks match is one of the best tag team matches they've ever done on AEW. It was a really fucking good match. It was too long, but it was really good. And the Young Bucks are like, you guys, you were just scared we were going to beat you the next time, basically, right? That, if you get in the ring with us again, we were going to win. So you wanted to prevent us from winning. And Adam Page didn't say anything. He was just kind of like, oh, well, whatever, But it's interesting because we don't know why he did it. We don't know why he did it. He never said why he did it. So it was a simple thing where people are jumping to conclusions. And that's really what we like in wrestling. We want to jump to conclusions. We want to be like, oh, so this is what happened. This is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. It's obvious that he's going to end up teaming with FTR and Tully to create, hopefully not butcher the Four Horsemen. Maybe that's not where we're going with this. But let's just say it's pretty obvious that FTR and Adam Page are going to have some type of friendship. But at the same time, now FTR are the number one contenders for the tag team championships. And now Hangman Page and Kenny Omega have to fight FTR at the pay-per-view. So Adam Page was in a conundrum, right? If the Young Bucks win, he has to fight his friends. If FTR wins, he has to fight his friends. So is it that he just basically chose that to help FTR because he didn't want to fight the Young Bucks again? Maybe he cared too much about them. He was afraid of where this was going to go the next time. Who knows? And it was very interesting because he was screwed either way. He was going to have to fight his friends either way. And I think that's very interesting. That's a very interesting angle. I'm interested in seeing where they're going with this. I'm also interested because Kenny Omega was not involved. He had nothing to do with this. He had nothing to do with the decision to kick Adam Page out of the Elite. I don't see how, and I want to know what his reaction to it is, because he's a member of the Elite. How could these guys just on their own kick him out, when he's a member of the Elite too? So that's interesting, right? It's very interesting. And then you have to ask the next question. Is Adam Page going to be on the same page with Kenny Omega, even though they're about to fight FTR, who are his friends? So is it going to be maybe Adam Page throws the titles away, the tag team titles away, and not care about them, and just say FTR the tag team champion? That would be terrible. But you could have FTR and Adam Page are supposed to be like man's man, a man's man, a honor-bound man, a duty-bound man. This is, the cowboy stereotype, right? The cowboy is like, the old sheriff. He upholds justice and the law, and he finds and restores boundaries and all these sorts of things. He can, and within the realm of that character, you can fight your friends for a good reason and still be friends afterwards. So it's not like he absolutely has to do anything devious or dastardly to fuck over FTR. Or he doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be personal. It could just be business. And they should all respect that they're all, competitors and going after each other. But at the same time, now that FTR sort of heals, would he take it personally if they cheated? Okay, what if FTR was going to cheat? Now FTR kind of stands for follow the rules, I guess. But let's say that they bend the rules in order to protect Adam Page and Kenny Omega, which I don't know why they would need protection, but let's just say they're going to protect them, that FTR is going to cheat. How do you deal with their friendship going forward, right? The FTR Adam Page friendship going forward. Is it a thing where FTR are basically using Adam Page? That they're not really trying to befriend him. They're trying to kind of get his guard down, and they just want what he has there's so many different storyline elements you have here. It's actually genuinely exciting. This is something I finally get to sink my teeth into when it comes to the AEW. And I think that they deserve a round of fucking applause for it. Here's hoping they don't fuck it up. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like this video, share it, and subscribe. I will talk to you guys later.